on Hstv. It's time for us to start that conversation. And to help us delve into that conversation, we have the lead pastor of Shepherd's Fields Chapel in Adogono, the person of Reverend Felix Parker-Beni. He's back again. This is the second time, by the way. So the last time we were talking about the fatherhood, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, he's back like the Terminator. Akwaba.
Junior.
Yeah. Bisafwe.
Aduma. Monswe.
Adumia.
Oh my God, I feel left out.
Forgive. We can speak the guy if you don't mind.
Okay. We'll find that to your thing.
Chele dromoson. The thing you your thing.
We'll find it wrong.
She a beef.
We'll find my other.
Nyekeche.
I'm a other black.
I thought you were going to delve into a bit more.
Medical F1.
Mefon kata.
Akbe.
Fometo.
F1.
It's okay, you ended there. She can't continue. That's all she can do.
I was trying at least.
You're trying, yeah. Your name is Ayana. Okay, so let's start the conversation. So we've heard a couple of places, other pundits, other counselors, and other social commentators saying that when it comes to dating, it's okay to have as much as even 30 people because you are now trying to figure out one particular person that you want to hang around with and possibly get into a relationship before even the courtship issue will come up. In your view, what do you think dating should be like or look like?
In a strict sense, dating has no strings attached. Dating is just wanting to connect and wanting to have fun. No emotions attached to it. No commitment. That's dating. So it's just like having friends and hanging out.
Oh.
But around that time, you could equally trigger some emotions because chemistry will be at play.
Every
I
human
might side the
being-
person and the feelings will come inside.
Every human being has something that triggers their emotions. All right. So in dating, your emotion could be triggered. Then you would move it a step further. All right, into wanting to commit yourself. But like you are saying, other people are saying that you could have more than one person to date with. It's just like having plenty friends. All right, and you are choosing which of them you want to have fun with. Fun as in hanging out, no emotional attachment, no commitment, but just like maybe like Friday, let's hang out at a usual place, let's maybe go to church, or let's read a book, or let's watch a movie, or let's go to Accra Mall or something.
Okay.
All right,
Okay,
so that's just
hanging
dating.
out, dating.
So I can decide that, your name again, sorry?
Stephanie.
Stephanie, tomorrow is Saturday, isn't it?
Yes.
So tomorrow, Saturday, maybe early in the morning, you'll be busy.
Yeah.
So somewhere around 3 p.m., can we meet at the beach? All right? Just sit down, over some drink, talk about some issue, hang around.
So that's dating.
That's dating.
So can I be in a relationship with Diego and still have you dating you? That's fine.
Sure. That's dating. Because it has no emotional attachment.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Alright.
simply going on a date
Yeah.
doesn't necessarily mean why
But it
is it
wouldn't
that
be one
it
time,
always
right?
it always happens it always happens when somebody wants to have a relationship with somebody. That is when the dating bit comes in. But you generalize your definition of it that it could be normal friendship.
That's why I use the word in the strict sense of it. You see, words evolve. A word like baller is a corrupt word. All right. The actual word is boiler. To boil. All right. And it was what do you call it? A place where they segregated the waste,
The waste, okay.
and then they would boil. Or there was an incinerator where they put other things to boil and to dissolve the dissolvables.
Okay.
All right. And so in those days, one would say, "Oh, where are you going?" "I am going to the boiler," and it become boiler.
Okay.
All right. And then the word "toli"
Okay.
in Ghana, "toli"
Like-
is the word that came from Nigeria. The word "story," if a person is lying, all right, maybe you are telling me a story, and I went to this place, and then this story. And as they migrated from Nigeria, by the time they got to Ghana, the word has changed from story to "toli."
Anyways.
So dating itself, all right, is also having a different meaning. In some sense, people will tell you dating is the actual courtship, all right, where they want to have all the fun they want to have. So do you ask a young man or a young lady, "Are you dating?" They'll say, "Yeah, I'm dating." They'll tell you, "This is serious." So they are changing,
Okay.
and gradually it is changing. That's why I said, in a strict sense, that is how it's supposed to be.
Okay.
But as time goes on, things are changing, and people don't really adhere to the measures and the restrictions placed on dating. So they break all the limits.
Okay, before we get into the do's and don'ts of probably dating, let's try and also define what courtship should mean. So we're defining the two key things, and then we'll get into details of that. So what should courtship?
There
you
are
know,
three
be
school of
courtship?
thoughts.
Okay.
First one says courtship is a business transaction where you are in to bargain to know whether I'm good for you or you're good for me. All right. And the second one too says that it is a relationship to borrow your time so I can study. And the third one says that it is a relationship leading to marriage where expectations are managed.
They are managed.
They are managed.
Interesting.
So I want to learn about you. I want to know about you, but I am coming to manage my expectations because it's not marriage yet.
In these three definitions or school of thoughts that you've given, which one should be the actual thing in your view?
I would combine the three and go with the last.
Where expectations are managed.
Exactly. Because the first one is business transaction. All right. So I'm in to bargain. So we sit.
At that instant, what are you bargaining for?
I'm bargaining for your life. And you are also bargaining for my life. All right. So we sit, we talk. And it depends on the individuals involved. Some expand to, normally it is said that you shouldn't go beyond 6 months. And at most 1 year. But there is nobody on earth, if you are given 1,000 years to want to know your partner, you still cannot know them.
Really?
Seriously. Human being is the most complex being on earth.
After all, change is only constant, so definitely the person will change along the line.
So
you can.
the 6 months and 1 year would help you to want to know what you need.
So 6 months, 1 year during the period of the courtship.
Averagely.
Average.
Okay, so let's leave the courtship to there. Let's come back to the dating. What are the do's and don'ts with the dating aspect?
Do's and don'ts are, first of all, unexpected expectation.
Unexpected expectations. Okay.
Manage your expectations by not thinking that I've seen A, B, and when I checked his background, his father is that, mother is that. So when I come in here, I will be this and that and that. Or when I go out with B, he has this six-pack, biceps and triceps, tall figure, and everybody will respect him.
Pink lips and beard.
Pink lips and nice beard, like this gentleman here.
Yeah.
And others will say, "Oh, his voice."
The voice.
When we go out and he talks, oh my goodness.
It looks like you've been described here.
No, he has a voice. He's talking about himself.
So
Yeah.
you would have to go in with little or no expectation. Otherwise, deal with the what do you call it? Unrealistic expectation. There are things you can't go in for.
But I always thought that when you're going for someone, you should have in mind who you want to,
Of course,
be with.
it is called the intangibles. When they are going with the tangibles, they are variables. They can change. All right. Once upon a time, a man was very rich at the age of 26, and all the guys in town, all the ladies in town, liked him. Very athletic, very regimental. They just liked him. And by the age of 40, he was nosedive. So if you were going in because of that, you are done. All right. So the management of the expectation helps you to look at the intangibles. The intangibles are the person's vision, the person's destiny, the person's character. When we go in for the tangibles, I call them the variables, and they can change at any time. So you marry a pretty nice lady like yourself, and God forbid, we don't know what happens, then rashes, and you were trying to apply medications and it burns your face and you can't have your face back. If I do that, then it means that once your face is normal, I'll be looking elsewhere. So courtship, one of the don'ts is to manage your expectations. And so many times, all our expectations are unrealistic. If I marry this man, I'll marry this woman, I'll be rich. I'll go to America. I can go back to school. I can do this. And most of the time, marriages collapse because of these things. Again, one of the don'ts is in courtship, although emotions are involved, emotions are also managed. So
the management class in Crown.
it says courtship is the ability to manage, and there's something you have to really work out, which is your emotional intelligence. Courtship, one of the key things you use critically is emotional intelligence. You should be extremely intelligent and wise to manage your emotions, because most courtship don't end up in marriage. And it's better to break courtship than to break marriage. So when your emotions are gone and your resources are gone and your dream is gone into it, you are doomed. All right? So you manage all these things. You don't sleep around with the person. I was reading a definition of courtship all the way from the US, and I was amazed that it spoke about having sex to want to know who the person is. I wanted to know whether you are compatible or not. But gracefully, with this thing I have here, I stand against it. All right? One would also ask, okay, so if I have to know you, and then I get married to you and I realize that you are impotent, or possibly, with all due respect, your manhood is not like the one I want. What do I do? All right? There is so many things you can do. There are so many things you can do. It is not only that one that is, marriage. In any case, science will also work out for a small thing to grow big. Just that if it is seen earlier.
Okay. I want to take you back to the character, because that was what I was thinking about with the character. So should I ever get into this or go forth with this person with the mindset that, okay, this character, this is how it looks like, but when we get married, I can change him? Should I ever have that mentality?
It is not. A child's character, the basic of his character, is formed from age 1 to 8.
To 8?
Yeah. When the child crosses age 8, everything the child does is building upon the foundation. You can't use 6 months, 1 year, or even 10 years to change that foundation. So don't go into marriage thinking that, oh, I am a staunch believer, or I'm a staunch Catholic. I want to marry this person so I can change him or her. It doesn't happen. Nobody can change anybody's character. When character is formed and we get close to it, we manage it. That is why even your own sister or your own brother, sometimes you have to deliberately put up with them. Had it not been that they were your blood siblings, you would have cut them off. So you manage them. When the character is formed, you can't do anything about it. But we manage.
We also hear from some counselors and pastors when, especially in the relationship of marriage, the woman or the man keeps complaining about one character trait of the man or the woman at a point in time, and they go like, when you give that inspiration to such a person, let's say the victim in that situation, you are telling the person that they should have the assurance that there could be a change.
Could be a change.
Yes.
Or sometimes they keep telling us that nobody is perfect. You're not going to have it. You might meet someone who has the character, but there may be no vision. You might meet somebody who has the character, but maybe no money. In the character, no one, so nobody is perfect. Then put up with it. What are we supposed to do?
That is a perfect thing to say, but maybe the person didn't further explain. A person's misconduct or misdemeanor may not change, but when we pray, what happens is that God puts impediment on the person's way. And when the person feels that he has a nosedive effect of life, he comes back to his senses. He may not change, but may make amends to adapt. And that would help the person to be led. Characters, when formed, are difficult to be unformed. So we help the people to manage, and we get closer to them to manage their thoughts, because it is the thought that reflects in the action. And as more as they muse, if you like, or consider the thoughts in their memories, it will reflect in their actions. So we keep talking and advising and getting close and showing them different things that will engage their thoughts. And as that, the old things are done away with, the new ones will help them. But periodically, they will slip.
a character like jealousy, should I see it as a reflection of love? The fact that he's jealous, I'm a lady and then I have male friends. He's always jealous about it. Should I think that then he loves me too much?
Yes and no. God himself is a jealous God, he claims. And it is a hallmark, or if you like, a deep mark of love. There is a negative jealousy and a positive one. It tends to be a negative jealousy when your jealousy is destroying, limiting, and breaking the person's dream, or driving away people from the person. It becomes positive when your jealousy is guiding, protecting, and helping the person to move on.
Okay, let me take you back a bit. That will be the premise upon which the next question will come. So you made mention of the fact that courtship should go minimum 6 months, maximum 1 year. With the dating aspect, how long can it last for?
I can go as far as you want, so long as you're not married.
Okay, so dating has no duration or something to it. You can date till you now decide that you want to pick one particular person to be with.
Also, when you're
So
with
long
one
as-
particular person, you
so
have to
long
stop
as-
dating others, hanging out.
Yes,
Because-
exactly. Then it becomes more like a courtship then.
If you
When you
hang,
finally decide to make a choice,
if you hang out on one person for too long, you've gradually moved out of dating.
So what's the period?
what's it too long then? Should it be
I can't put a
week
date to it.
to
But dating is, I have a friend, periodically maybe he or she is my friend, and today I want to hang out with him or her, and then I stay. We're not that close and intimate. We are friends, so I can call if I need help. You can call if you need help, and one time we can sit, or maybe it's a birthday, I come around, or it's my birthday, you come around, or maybe a funeral of your family member, I come to help, or maybe you were my classmate, so old school reunion, we meet, we date, but there are no strings attached, no commitment, no emotional feelings.
Boys of today, you date,
Right.
they date girls and they are all like, after everything I did for you. For doing
so that is when you start asking for things, I believe.
Okay,
So
before you get to your conversation, I want to
okay.
remind you is that the phone lines will be activated shortly. But for now, the WhatsApp numbers are active. You can start sending us your messages, your thoughts, comments, and your questions, and then we'll start delving into that. But the phone lines will be activated shortly, so you can equally call in and then ask all your questions, or then you submit your contributions as well. Yeah.
Okay, so we've heard from some other counselors and men of God say that friendship is the basis of every relationship. You should be friends to your wife and even avoid even that bestie kind of thing if you're married. So in the dating, you begin to pick some few things devoid of emotions, as you said. And in courtship also, you manage your emotions. It's a management class. At what point do you develop that kind of friendship? I'm sure it will be somewhere around the courtship period. In developing a friendship, what telltales do you pick up to know that this could be
The friendship begins with the dating, because it is through the dating an interest is realized or picked. So you can have a holistic person to marry. There are key things you would be interested in, and it will attract you. So when the dating surfaces or helps to emerge the interest, then you narrow down in. That is where the friendship begins.
Okay. There's been countless situations where I've heard certain, especially the ladies, they put certain bar of a kind of person they're looking for. You should be like the explanations you give. You should be tall, broad-chested, muscles,
Pink
beard,
lips,
pink
the
lips,
voice.
yeah, nice voice and all. And then that would be somewhere around their early 20s. They get to the 30s and they reduce the play. Oh, I don't really care about his physique. So long as he has a good character, you can think about it. He's caring, he gives me attention, I'm okay with it. By 35, not still be by 40. Oh, be anybody at all that will come up. So those parameters you set keeps changing. Should it be the case, or you should have a particular one that you stick to, like key things that you look out for, rather than having those high expectations and all those things?
You shouldn't be a person that is swing like a pendulum. If you have what you want, focus on it.
So the thought I had when I was 25, even when I'm 40 and I'm still not getting any match, just stick with it.
That is why you'll have to learn to be matured before you get your thoughts. Some people change their, if you like, statistics because they mature. Others too do it because they are influenced by friends. And it is very, very good for you to mature before you make those parameters. Because if you set them right from scratch, as you are growing, your taste will change. Every human being has a taste. All right? For me, when I was growing up, no matter how pretty, nice, shapy you are, if you were dark, you don't move me. Even if you are...
Well, his wife is married to his fair, by the way.
And Deborah's wife is equally fair, by the way.
I know, right?
It will be Zanu.
I don't know what you're talking about. Sorry, I can't hear you clearly. When you sit here and you talk, I don't hear you well. Sorry.
And even if you are like a rope with no shape and you are fair, I like it. So that one, I could manage it. And I wasn't going for a rich person. I was going for... You see, the parameters are good, but they can change. So I keep saying that always go in for the intangibles. They don't change. One of the things also that I wish everybody would go for, and you can testify for, if a person is knowledgeable, he or she is attractive. And that's what people don't know.
That's more like sapiosexuals.
All right. So read. Be an avaricious reader. Be greedy for books, greedy for knowledge. And don't just learn or read. Read to learn and live by what you learn. And being knowledgeable in itself is attractive. It gets people to get to you. When you speak, you're like, wow. All right. And there are some people, you can see them so pretty, so nice, dressed on point. I mean, colors on point. They don't even like color blocking. But when they speak, you're like, there's no match.
It's correct.
So they will go to Achia Mountains. They will go to a breed. What's the name of that one?
There's a new one called Alpha Hour.
Alpha Hour.
And
And they will pray. But they forget to add value. All right. In courtship, one of the things you will do is that you are looking for things that attract you. And if you find it in the person, get to do it yourself.
I like where you ended. So, you gave a scenario or analogy of a lady who looks good outwardly with all the specs and everything, shapy, dresses well, and all that, but her thought pattern is deficient. Maybe the guy who saw her also admired what got his attention, had everything to do with how she looks like and all. But her thought pattern is deficient. So he decides that during the courtship period, that's what he wants to work on.
Good.
to make her better. Would that be a wrong idea to have?
It's a perfect idea. But once it is courtship, if you decide to do that, it is not a guarantee for marriage. Can I say it again?
Come again, yeah.
It is a very good thing to do. I've seen a young lady or a gentleman whose thought patterns are not in line with mine, but I like everything about him. So I want to help him educate himself so we can get married. But since it's courtship, it is not a guarantee that when I do it, it will end up in marriage. So in that sense, I'm still managing my expectations. I'm doing it for him or her to better himself.
Okay, so the thought shouldn't be that I'm doing it because I want to marry the person, but just to help the person be better.
Sincerely.
Okay.
Then maybe we can touch on this WhatsApp message that just came in, because it's quite similar to this. It says, "Hello, good morning. I'm Becky from Nongwa. Please, must a man falsely marry a woman because she has helped him so much and has been with him for 5 years, even at the time the guy has rather found someone he loves and wants to be with?
It's
but
wrong.
just because this woman has helped him for 5
It's
years."
wrong. You see, that is why I say that in courtship, you manage your expectation. Whatever you do in courtship, you are learning. You are planning for yourself and for the person. And then you graduate it into establishing the relationship. That our relationship is going to end up in marriage. But so long as it had not ended in marriage, anything can happen. So you still manage your expectation and hold back your emotions. So whatever you are doing is salaka. Whatever you do in courtship, I give you money, I pay your school fees, whatever, salaka.
I said, boys, yes, I'll.
There are only few people who genuinely love. You see, in courtship, you try to. That's why I say emotion intelligence is very key.
Yeah.
You separate your need from your love. Can I say it again? You try to separate your needs from the love. So when I'm helping you, it is your need, not because of the love. The underlying tone will be that I've seen you, I love you. And I wouldn't go just helping anybody just like that. I'm helping you. But I'm not helping you because I want to marry you. When we establish that we are going to get married, I'll still help you. But until you and I are married, whatever I do, I would have do it for any other person. That's the mindset of courtship.
Okay, so you earlier started mentioning, you gave us about 2 don'ts. Are there more, or we should move on to maybe the do's, the things you should do to say?
One of the don'ts also is trying to involve families. All right? All your friends, all your family members, in less than 3 months.
Final World Cup.
The man or the woman knows everybody in your family, all your friends. He or she even have phone contacts for friends. It's a not. Because human being can hide a character close to 10 years. Yeah. That is how the mindset can be. So if you try to think that, oh, I just saw him in 2 months and I think he's the man for me or the woman for me, so mommy, this is the man I want to get married to. By the time you hit 6 months, 7 months, and other issues begin to come up, you are dead. And don't try to be a father or a mother in the relationship. So I'm paying your bills, I'm buying you stuffs, and with the intention I'm going to get married to you. Hello, it's courtship. Let it remain courtship. We are studying each other. Now, one would also ask, how will I know the person is responsible if he doesn't give me anything? Responsibility is not when you demand. And it's not when the person gives. In any case, if I don't give money and I show care, I'm also responsible.
Some of our ladies don't understand that part too. So she's had you are courting 6 months down the line. Her mother or father dies, and she needs to cough out some amount of money to help with the burial. She's been given a threshold of about 5,000 cedis as her bill, and she can't afford all the entire bill. She comes to you, you know what is happening, and say, "Boame." You can't say because
I will help you. I will help you, devoid of the fact that I am helping you, so you marry me. It's just like, okay, maybe because I'm a pastor.
It's difficult to really entangle that too.
No.
Say,
no. You see, you ride in a car, in the traffic, and this young girl walks to you and can't even speak your language, and that's. Then you pick 1 CD or 2 CDs. Sometimes you don't even have a little denomination. You pick 5 CDs, give to the child. Do you give to the child because you want to marry her? No. That's what you do in courtship.
But with courtship, my intent for being with you in the first place for that long time is because I want to take you to the next level.
Yes.
It's because some way, somehow, there's a feelings that I have for you.
The feeling is now developing. You see, in courtship, you are developing your emotions, your expectations, your what do you call it, psychological framework with the person for connection. You are now developing it. Not that you don't have it, you have it for your personal use. Now you are developing the two of you, how it will click. So you are not developing, you have not developed. So don't start the thing like, I have developed it so I can do anything. And so many women are broken. And as a result, they can't even enter into another courtship. Why? Because they went in with no checks and balances. With everything of their emotions, they pumped money, they gave themselves, excuse me to say, they brought in family members, they connected the people. Oh, I need this, then oh, go and see this man, oh, go and see this man. So by the time the man is not ready to marry her, she's broken. And the man had taken both her time, stolen her emotion, and broken her confidence. So most women are not ready to marry. They are hanging out guys and they are afraid to marry because their confidence are broken. They are bruised emotionally. You see,
there's also a flip side of it too. Some ladies also do it to the men.
Yeah, but it happens. You see, if I hit my leg against a stone whilst running and I break my skin, I can easily see it and I will apply medication to it. One of the most difficult things to deal with is a festered emotional wound. You can see. And when you are wounded emotionally and you don't know that you are wounded and you go to another place and it is festered, it becomes a chronic wound that cannot die. And that in itself makes you develop a character that is not your own character. So most people at both ends, men and women, are behaving in such a way that is not their character. It is a wounded or festered emotional wounds that is making them react. But if they were healed, they would have been better.
Got some messages, right?
Yeah, I've got some messages here. This one says that, good morning. Please, I want to ask, how can a man manage a woman who doesn't have vision?
Just visionless.
It simply means that the gentleman did not marry the woman because of vision, because I said earlier on, in courtship, you look out for one thing, which is very crucial, vision. Okay, now, if you had married and you realize the person doesn't have vision, it doesn't mean there's nobody on earth who doesn't have a vision. Nobody. Everyone has a vision. What makes it seem like we don't have vision is that we tend to relax and not pursue. Otherwise, what we think we want, we have little or no knowledge of it and don't have understanding of it. So then we turn out to look like we don't have vision.
Could it also be that that vision is unrealistic?
Most likely.
Okay.
It's unrealistic. All right. Now, the way to help the person is to want to ask questions. In courtship, one of the basic rules is to ask questions. And not just questions, ask relevant questions. So let this gentleman sit the wife down and ask questions. Ask questions on emotions. Ask questions on psychological. Ask questions on schooling. Ask questions on career. And it is through this you will pick signals, and then you would help that I think you could be good at this end. Let's give it a try. So you can pick about 3 things and help the person on it. And then in the 3, you may narrow it down to 1.
Okay.
Push.
Okay. Another message here says, my name is David from Circle. Please, there's this lady I've been dating for about 3 years, and I later found out that she's been kissing this guy, and they ended up having sex. Please, what should I do?
This is not dating. Almost a degree.
He was not dating.
3 years.
That's why I say some people don't understand the word dating.
Yeah.
He had moved from dating into courtship and had not even defined the courtship itself. All right. Once a person has cheated on you, you may want to find out for how long. All right. There are tendencies that a person doesn't love you. It is called red flag. In courtship, you look out for these red flags and you advise yourself. I can't tell him to stay out or go on. I'll tell him to look for another red flag. Because if you should have about 3 or 4, 5 red flags, then it's a no-go zone.
But if you have just one,
if you have just one, you work out to see if it can be worked out.
The one could be quite critical.
In fact, it is not exhaustive. The one could even be the major factor. All right. And if you have the one that is a major factor, please advise yourself.
Okay. Let's talk about this. Please, must a man build a house and have properties together with a woman he's not married to and has not even paid the bride price?
A gangantuan no.
Is it because it's a man making properties with a woman he's not married to?
No. The question is, on what basis are you? Is it a business?
It's a transaction.
On what basis are you collaborating to build? And for what purpose?
Oh, the purpose is maybe we will get married. You get it? We are planning our future.
Anything can happen.
No. It's not a good thing. Don't try.
Oh, but there's a conversation about a friend where he was dating a young woman. They felt at a point they needed a vehicle to facilitate their movement. They set up a bank account, and the lady puts in a certain amount of money. The guy also puts in a certain amount of money. So the point that the money was okay to buy a vehicle, and they started using it with the intention that it will facilitate their movement and all. Unfortunately, that relationship didn't end well. But wasn't it a good idea?
It's a perfect idea.
So at the end, who are the car?
registration a bit depending. I don't know how they register, but I'm sure it was in the guy's name. The registration of the car was in the guy's name. So in the situation event that they were parting, maybe as the woman pumped him, he just give her parts with the money and then.
Yeah, it's a good idea, but if you happen to collaborate with somebody who may not be able to part that money for you when the relationship ends, then it's a disaster. So it's normally advised, don't do it. I mean, it's good to give. I mean, you can give, but to jointly do a big project before marriage.
So they are planning their future. Get that.
There's an incident of a gentleman who was madly in love with this lady and would do anything both for the lady and the family. And their mother had a land and they were ejected from their house. And this guy was in the position to help. He said, to rent a house for you again, why don't we build, after I'm going to get married to you, and it was a big land, so let's build one apartment for your mom, where when we get married we will live there, then the big one will be for your mother. Then they agreed. He built 2-bedroom flats for the mother, and they went to live there. They courted for almost 3, 4, 5 years. No show. And anytime he was coming to marry, the lady excused, not knowing that lady had a gentleman outside. One day, the lady came and said, oh, there's this business, I want to go outside. She left and went to get married there. And the question is, should he go and break the building, or what does he do? It was history. I don't know what happened to it, but it's not smart.
Okay, yeah, I think in your early submission you answered someone's question. So he says, thank you very much, Daddy. Thank you for your answer, and then God bless you. Another one says, how can a man live with a woman who is timid?
Okay. You would want to find out the cause of the timidity. Maybe she grew up with a strict father, or there was an incident in her life that made her timid. It could be education. It could be that she's from the village and they brought her to live with an affluent family and they always kept humiliating her. So she has this low self-esteem, and almost every time. So if you get to the root of the cause, and it boils up to questions. You see, the easiest and fastest way to know a person is through questioning. Because if you answer me a question which you think is a sincere answer, and I wait for another month and ask you the same question and give me another answer, I know you're a liar.
Oh, thank you for that trick.
Sounds like something you, I don't say something the last time we had it here.
Because you really can't repeat lies.
Exactly.
Yeah. And no matter how smart you are in lying, your blind side will always show, and it will come through questioning.
Okay.
And so you subject your intended to questioning.
Okay.
Ask every question.
And if possible, repeat it
Another time. And use, you see, you journalists have a way of asking questions in different ways.
Yeah.
And that should be a style of people who are cutting. I'll ask you the question. When I see the answer I'm not satisfied with, I'll look for another way to ask the same question. If I don't get that answer, I know there's some pretense somewhere. And it's a red flag.
Okay, another question that we can pick calls now. It says that what should you do if a prophet tells you that the woman you are courting is not the plan of God for you?
By the way, have you ever told somebody like that before?
I doubt.
Okay. Is it a good thing to do? Are you led by the Spirit to do that at times?
too many questions. Why did you even sit up to start asking a question?
Oh, it's something very critical that I've heard a lot about. People complain. So yeah.
I can't destroy the clergy, and I must be extra cautious with the prophetic. What is missing here is if you tell the person, tell the person they're not compatible. But once you bring in the God factor, it's crucial. Watch this. People call me and ask, Reverend, please, this gentleman is trying to woo me, and I want to bring him so that you see whether it is the will of God for me to marry. Let's make something clear here. What is the will of God for man? The will of God is that a man shall leave his parents and cleave unto a woman. What the person is trying to ask is that person compatible with me? It has nothing to do with the will of God. The will of God is that every man should marry. In fact, even the will of God says that some are made eunuchs and others are made eunuchs by men. It means there are some men they will never marry. And there are some marriages we will never have children, because some are made eunuchs by God and others are made eunuchs by men. All right. Now, if a man is a eunuch and he falls in love with a woman and they get married, that man will never give birth. You understand? Okay. If you are asking if that person is the will of God, I'll tell you it's the will of God, because God said a man should marry. That's the will of God. So your question is wrong. The pastor should say that, oh, I think you may not be compatible, and to say that it is not God. The God factor is very crucial, and when I hear those things, I detach myself from it.
All right, the phone lines are active now, so you may want to give us a call in case you have any questions, or you try to reach us via the WhatsApp line. You couldn't send your messages. You can give us a call right now. Call and ask any question. We're talking about dating and courtship, the do's and don'ts, and the effect of it before you even get into the ultimate, that is marriage. So if you have been listening from beginning, you have any questions that we're not been able to ask him yet that you think you want to ask, please go ahead and give us that call right now. The number is on your screen. You can pick that number and call us, and then he will be here to answer those questions for us. All right. Okay, so at what point in the courtship can you be so confident to say that, okay, this is it, this is the woman I want to marry, this is the man I want to marry, and you want to take up to the next step?
When your interest is established. So you are going in not with only expectations, but with interest. So I find this woman. I need a woman that can make a home. I need a woman that can complement my vision. And I have found one. So when I establish my interest, now I pull out my final card. Then I make the proposal. That young lady or gentleman, I think at this point, my heart is gone. You are the one I need to settle down with.
Even that, could you be wrong?
Oh yeah, you could be wrong.
Yeah.
Because what happens is that when we begin to court and we are not careful to manage our emotions, our emotions drive us. And so most of our decisions are based on emotions and not on our decisions.
This was a thought for me. I have a caller from Sapiman. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Morning.
Morning, sir. Your name?
But your friend Razak.
Yeah.
Razak, okay. Koso.
But your person in this affair. I said, no, I say, what did I say, Obewa, and I said, Uncle, and one year. You right, so you be between and a bishop of women's or Yama, only right to be a between a Yako to the money anyone. Because of the Uncle, no India, only right. I'm not the same.
I'm not sure whether I got it correct.
I get what you're saying.
Okay, Razak, you are no. Thank you for calling. Why?
It means he's cohabiting with the lady already.
Okay.
And he's asking whether he has a right to go.
Maybe we should do the tree for him.
Okay. Nature say oni niprakone te dada. Ena obisa say opeso waren. Nti see no obetimi akwa bia mane ma bia na. In the first place no we you have stolen. We are. It is all going to be a so we dwanto na ekọ first. We dwanto na ko wia and sana okobisa nas. Fiti prekope enko okwa o de kwa wo akana mamobu. Why ye ne maame ana ne papa.
Okay.
Nti wo no ba na tena. Wonye ne ho ade. Ana wone nete. Sabe wone ne wo ye. Enso pese wa bibi. O kwa esa wo de dwanto okọ. Se enani eja mafom. Ma nhya me ho so me ne mo ba na tena. Maba mo fa nche me. And then uwie a eno kwa wo kwa esa wo ne ebusuafo na ekọ. Uwie a ansa na wo fa ebusuafo asa akọ. Se sisi a no mo ba no ye pese e be fa no. Na wo be yesa so a ese oba ne firi wo nchen na okọ na neja ho na wo kwa yesa ansa na ba.
Okay. I have another caller on the line. Rafiatu from Pokwase. Rafiatu, good morning.
Morning.
How are you doing? Please go ahead with the submission.
Morning. I'm good.
Please turn down the volume of your radio TV set or move away, okay?
I'm staying with a man.
Okay.
I'm staying with a man, and now we have given birth with a little girl.
Okay.
And my father demands to say that he has to marry before naming the child. So I wanted to ask the pastor that is it right for him to marry me before naming the child, the girl, the baby?
Okay. All right. Thank you, Rafiatu, for calling. He'll address that.
That one is a cultural issue. And I don't know which part of Ghana she's coming from, but I'm presuming it could be the northern part. And it is an affront against the family to give birth without performing of rites. So if you go ahead to name that child, you have insulted the family twice. So what the father is saying is right. But in the modern settings, we also look at the right of the child. This is when we are moving above cultural issues. The child also has a right to be named. So then, we look at the right of the child and look for a punishment for the gentleman, so we can name the child for the gentleman to be punished.
Okay. My last caller is Dixon from Ajin Kotoku. Good morning, Dixon.
Can I present my question?
Sure, go ahead.
I wanted to find out whether, unfortunately on my part, I just walked in and I saw the program going on. Okay. And then the topic interest is very, very, very interesting to me, so I want to contribute.
Okay.
I wanted to find out from the guest at the studio whether, in the case a guy has stayed with a lady for, let's say, about a year or two, and then during the course of the stay, there is a pregnancy. What should be done?
Yes, that's similar thing.
The guy waits for the child to be given birth before the marriage right of the girl is done, or can they do both during the course of the naming of the child? Then the marriage right is also going on at the same time. Okay. Is it possible like that?
All right. Thank you for calling, Dixon. So, thank you for calling. He will respond to that.
It is not good to consummate a marriage on a pregnancy. It's not good. It's a curse.
I've seen many women put it on, getting wedded on the altar in church.
That is the most, I don't want to use the word, it's a sacrilege. You don't bring pregnancy to the altar. All right? And if it is happening, then it is at the blind side of the clergy. And you know, even if some claim they are prophets, they still cannot see if others are pregnant. All right? And as some women, even at their 8th month, you can't tell whether they're pregnant. All right? And the best thing to do is to wait for the lady to give birth. Then the marriage comes on. You don't push the pregnancy into marriage.
Okay, I have a few questions here that we'd like to touch on in like 2 minutes. This one says that, hi, my name is Shadrach Owusu-Jima. Hstv, you are the best among them. Thank you. Please, is God really interested in the partner we choose?
Some man of God said that since the day Adam accused God that the woman you gave me had caused me to sin, he has stopped giving women to men. God is interested in the woman you marry as much as he's interested in the man you marry. But the choice, you make it yourself.
Okay, thank you very much. The last one says that I have found love, but my auntie keeps on telling us she will not accept our marriage even if we are prepared to get married. What do we do?
It means the auntie has seen something that the young is not seeing. And the best thing to do is not to rebel. Sit your auntie down. To want to find out what is it that is making you think I shouldn't.
She just added that the guy is also very responsible.
Responsibility is relative.
Okay.
Exactly.
So
Omano 2 Ghana cedis every day, so she thinks that it's responsible.
yeah.
Anyway.
All right.
Oh, the auntie has also cursed the relationship.
But she has the right to do all that. That's my challenge.
No,
she has the right
the
to
auntie
decide.
doesn't have the right to do that.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes. Maybe the auntie did not manage her expectation. She took care of her and is thinking that it's time for her to pay back. And that season is when she's going. So she's lost. Otherwise, the gentleman in question might be related to the auntie somewhere. Because I've had that issue before where the woman insisted, not knowing the gentleman's father used to be her boyfriend.
And she messed it up, so payback time.
Not payback time. It's like
you can't
he's
repeat
thinking
that.
that
History shouldn't repeat itself.
the character was there.
Okay.
And couldn't say until the lady rebelled and wanted to go, and then she voiced the thing.
So what should this lady do? What should she do at this moment?
She would want to find out, because information is very key. All right. It is said in Akan adage, what the elderly sees whilst lying down or sitting. When you stand on the tallest mountain, you can see. So there is something that the auntie is seeing, and I would wish she find out. And I can't give her a direct answer because I have little of what is going on. Okay. And if I do that, I may cause a shipwreck.
Okay. In summation, what are you telling people about dating and courtship that they should take a cue from before they move on to the next level? We're wrapping up.
I'm going to ask everyone, one of the most beautiful things to have is to court. It's so lovely. All right. It's like birds. All right. You are everywhere with the person. You carry the person on your thoughts everywhere. Think about the person. And I would wish that the sanctity of courtship will be kept. That leads to marriage. I pray that all those who are planning now to escape the judgment of shame because they are pregnant during their courtship should take a clue not to step on the altar of the pregnancy. They should think twice.
Okay. We have some few people trying to get your contact and maybe access to you. Maybe you want to share your contact if you want to, or share your social media handles that they can easily get access to.
You can do that.
Okay, so they will reach out to me.
Sure.
And then I'll give you your contact.
Exactly.
Okay, but social media, you're on social media too as well? Or?
Yeah, I'm only on WhatsApp and Facebook.
Okay, Facebook. So Facebook, what name are you using?
Felix Packer Bennett.
Okay.
Felix.
All right. Okay. So you can go there, DM him, and then probably you can continue the conversation about that. Thank you very much for joining us once again. We appreciate your level of knowledge and education to us this morning. We appreciate that. God willing, we shall have you again the next time. All right. So that's where we call it a wrap on this segment. We're going for a quick break. When we come back, the man JK will be seated with a very interesting figure. As a guy who is into makeup and all that.
Yeah, he's a makeup.
Yeah, so it's not really the terrain of guys, but he's doing pretty well in that space. So stick around for that conversation as well. We'll be right back.
Would you like to own a home, start a business, provide seed money, or a good education for your children? The Pro Wealth Plan answers all of life's questions. This is Ekwa 9. She wants to be an engineer in future. Her parents, Mr. and Mrs. Hammond, plan to give her the best education but don't want to be unnecessarily burdened when she's ready for university in 10 years. Do you know how much it will cost Ekwa to go to a local private university or university abroad in the next 10 years? Ekwa's parents have signed up to a Pro Wealth Plan. They pay affordable monthly premiums that ensures they are able to fund Ekwa's university fees and living expenses. When she's ready for university, Prudential will pay the maturity benefit and her parents can enjoy free insurance cover for an additional 5 years. In the unfortunate event that her parents pass away, Prudential will pay over 200% of the sum assured, which is 100% immediately, 10% annually to keep Ekwa in her current school, and 100% at maturity for her chosen university. This means that Prudential Life has guaranteed Ekwa's education regardless of life's uncertainties. The Pro Wealth Plan also covers a spouse or partner up to the same sum assured. With over 26 million customers, 24,000 employees globally, and over 170 years experience, you and your family can have peace of mind knowing that you are in safe hands. Whatever your financial goals are, the Pro Wealth Plan has the answers to life's questions. Call us today and let Prudential secure your future.
My name is Dr. Andrew Akutu. I'm the Managing Director of Hstv Funeral Homes. Hstv Funeral Homes was established to provide modern, state-of-the-art and comprehensive funeral services. If a family lost a loved one, everything became a do-it-yourself affair. But Hstv Funeral Homes was established so that everything that has to do with the funeral, from the time a person dies until they are buried, can all be done and made available in one place. And at all time, to emphasize the importance of treating the body of the deceased with the utmost respect and dignity. Hstv Funeral Homes provides any and all services that have to do with funerals. Hstv Funeral Homes will recover the body from wherever the death occurred, embalm the body using the most modern techniques. We will keep the body or store the body in our state-of-the-art refrigeration system for as long as the family desires. Nearer the time of the funeral, we will prepare and dress the body up for the funeral. We provide transportation, namely ambulances and hearses, to convey the body from one place to the other as the family may wish. We also provide on our premises the services of an interdenominational chapel where the services can be conducted. We also have the only modern crematory in Ghana at the moment, which services not only Ghana, but also Cote d'Ivoire. We also have a cemetery, one of the only 2 privately managed cemeteries in Accra at the moment. All it takes, literally, is 1 telephone call and perhaps 2 visits to our premises for everything to do with the funeral to be arranged for you. There are several funeral plans on the market. Most of them are based on the premise that when the insured person passes away, the insurance company will pay an agreed sum of money to the bereaved family. Often enough, the sum paid to the family may not be sufficient to cover the basic needs the family requires. That is where the Prudential Dignity Plan comes into its own and is significantly different, because what the Prudential Dignity Plan ensures are the services that will be required, so that it does not matter whether 5 years or 10 years after the insurance was taken, those services will be provided regardless of the fact that the costs may have gone up. Once you are insured, your services are covered. It doesn't matter how long before the death occurs.
Dignity Farewell Plan from Prudential Life Insurance, in partnership with Hstv Funeral Homes, is providing families with over a decade of experience and peace of mind when it comes to saying goodbye to your loved ones. To find out more or to sign up to the Dignity Farewell Plan, contact us today.
Okay, so it's been quite an interesting conversation. We had Stephanie and Diego with Reverend Parker talking about courtship and relationship, and I know you've taken one or two. And JK, I'm seated right here bringing you what's happening in the world of entertainment. But today in my corner, we're going straight to, let me say, the beauty and grooming sector. And we have a young guy who is doing super amazing when it comes to makeup here in Ghana. I have in the studios with me, Zuka. You're welcome.
Thank you.
I hope I got the name right this time.
You did.
Yeah, nice one. I think how many years seeing you? It's been quite long.
5, 6.
6.
6, right? Yeah. That's a long time.
I met this guy. We had to do a project, and after that, I think I've not seen him quite some time now. But he's doing super amazing when it comes to makeup right here in Ghana. So tell a friend to tell another that we have Zuka right here in the studios, and don't forget we're streaming live on our YouTube channel as Hstv. Just go there, click on the link, and share it amongst your friends. So straight up, Zuka.
Yep.
Let me come to you. I know you were a teacher. You used to teach, right?
Yes, how do you know?
I know about teaching. I have to dig deep and see what's happening. So how many years teaching?
About 4 years.
4 years.
Yes, 3 to 4 years.
What were you teaching?
I was teaching English language. I was teaching ICT and creative arts.
Creative arts.
Yes.
And how? Let's talk about the sudden switch. You going into makeup, how did it all happen?
So okay, while I was teaching, I was doing makeup aside. So I go to work during the weekday, and then during the weekends I do my makeup. Yeah, so that's how it
started.
Yeah,
but we just want to have a fair idea. How did it all start? Were you playing with colors, drawing? How did it all start?
Okay, I think I've always loved art. I used to draw a lot when I was in primary and GHS and all of that. But for makeup, I think it was, I think someone challenged me.
Okay.
Yes. And I'm like, okay, why not? I love challenges, so bring it on. So we brought it on, and then I did it the first time, even without like any knowledge about makeup or anything. All I had to do was, you know, go on YouTube, watch a few videos and stuff like that. Yeah, so that's how it started.
And professionally, how let's say, how many years in the industry now?
So I can boldly say 3 years.
3 years.
Professionally, yeah.
3 years, and you're already making waves, like, you know, making up big people and all that. And let's touch on some challenges you faced as a makeup artist, being a male. What's some of the challenges?
Okay, I think most of the challenges I faced was when I started.
Okay.
Because, you know, makeup is like a female-dominated industry. We had like, then times we had just a few like male makeup artists and that. So it was a little bit of a struggle because they're like, okay, so he's a guy. What can he really do? Can he really, you know, make up like the ladies do and all of that? But, you know, the people that trusted in me gave me the opportunity to prove myself. And and I'm here today. Yeah.
You're doing quite amazing. I keep saying, looking at the people you've worked with, project you've jumped on, it's been quite an interesting journey. Now let's go back home. Let's talk about family. You know, when you have a male going into this industry, we have this whole thing. And I know you're Muslim.
Yes.
How was the response?
I think for me, the response was great.
Okay.
Because the only person I opened up to about the makeup thing was my mom. Because when I started, I wasn't having, you know, anyone to practice on. So I'll usually call her and then I'll make her up. And then I made sure I was comfortable with it. So I'm like, okay, once she's happy with it, then I'm good to go. Yeah, so I think it's been great. Most of my family members didn't know until I think about 4 years ago when I was nominated for an award. So that's when the flyers came out, and then they started testing me. Oh wow, so you're doing makeup? We never knew. I'm like, yeah. I wanted it to be a surprise, and I got you. So
that's amazing. And let's talk about religion too.
Yeah,
Muslim. We go into the Quran. We know some things that are haram. You know, things you're not supposed to. How are you able to cope with that too?
For makeup, I don't think makeup in Islam is haram.
Okay.
I think it's even advisable for women to look good and feel good.
Okay.
And I think makeup is part of it. But I don't know about a guy doing makeup. I don't think that has anything to do with religion. I think it's my job. That's what I do, and I don't think that has anything to do with religion. But for the makeup itself, I think in Islam, I mean, women are allowed to look good, so why not?
To look good.
Yeah.
Great. So now let's talk about makeup. When you wake up, how's your day like for you when you are booked for, you know, a project? How do you go about things? How do you put things together?
Yeah, so usually when I have like a booking, I set my alarm as usual because I don't want to be late. Yeah, I'm always on time. So I set my alarm, I wake up, I pray to God for, you know, giving me the day, and then I pray and commit myself to His hands to protect me throughout the day. And then I sort out my product and make sure I have every other thing I need to use for the job I'm going to do. Yeah, and then I get myself a ride, and then I go to work.
There you go.
Yeah.
And okay, so moving away from that, let's talk about some wow moments in your career. At what point did you say, okay, hey, this is it for me? Who are you going to work on, you know, that big break?
Yes. I think the big break was with Delay.
Okay.
Yeah, on the Delay show. So I have this friend who used to work with her, and then he always says that, okay, he's going to recommend me to her, and I was so excited and blah, blah, blah. So she decided to try me. So she put me on a TV show. Yeah, called Coco Brown. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah,
so
it was a series.
Yes, it was a series. So that's when I started working on it, and then I had the opportunity to make some of the stars up, and then they posted me on Instagram, and then I realized I was getting like really good engagement. People were following me, and they're like, "Oh, so you're the one doing the makeup for the Delay show," and I'm like, "Oh, wow!" Then people are actually getting to know the brand and stuff like that. So that's how it started for me. And I think after that, I got a few other, you know, stars here and there to work on and projects, and then
have you had any moments where, you know, you've had a makeup done and the person you're working on, like, you know, I don't like this, I have to put this off?
I think, yes, certainly. I think, I remember one. I had this client, I don't want to mention where she was, but she's not Ghanaian. So I got to her, and then usually before I start working on you, I like to have like a chit chat with you to know the type of makeup you like. Either like if you like a subtle kind of makeup or you like, you know, to go more into detail. So she said, okay, she's like a naturalist, she doesn't like a lot of makeup and blah blah blah. I'm like, okay, cool. So we started off and then she was like, oh, I have my own product. I would want to use my own product. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. So she bought her product, and these products are like, you know, full coverage mattifying product. And those kind of product doesn't give you the kind of effect she was looking out for. So I advised that we use my products because I have like variety of products in my kit. She was like, oh no, I'm not comfortable. My skin is, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, cool, let's go ahead. So we started, and then after her foundation, she was like, okay, she wants to look at her face. I'm like, okay, cool. And then she went to look at her face. She came back and she started screaming. She was like, you too much. And I'm like, but this is your own product. She was like, okay, yeah, I understand. So can we clean it and start all over? And I wanted to give her a second chance. So I agreed we clean her face, and then she came back and I'm like, okay, so this time I want to use my own product. She was like, no, let's still use my product. So I'm like, okay, so let's go ahead. And then I applied the tiniest amount, but because it's like a full coverage, little goes a long way. And then she was still complaining. I'm like, okay, sweetheart, I don't think I can continue with this. So I just had to let it go.
Nice. Yeah. Now let's talk about your industry, where you find yourself here in Ghana. How is the response like talking about makeup?
I think it's been great. It's been great. And I think we are evolving as a nation. A few years ago, makeup wasn't a big deal, but now people would want to look good everywhere they're going. For naming ceremonies, even if they want to go like have a night out with their girlfriends, they want to look pretty. So I think it's really good, doing well. Yeah.
And what's your style? Because I look at Zuka's page, looking at your style of makeuping, and you have this calm. Your makeup is not too loud. What was the inspiration behind you?
I think it just has to do with my mom. And my aunties, because I grew up, you know, watching them get ready, do their makeup, and they always did it like very subtle. And then also when I go on Instagram and then I see, you know, subtle makeup, I think I really love them. So when I started, I'm like, okay, so I need to have like a niche, the way I want my makeup to look. And so I decided to, you know, go in for the subtle kind of look. So we do it like very mild, but yet detailed. So in as much as it's subtle, you can still see and feel the detail, the contour, the highlight, the blushes, everything is popping.
All right. So maybe we have a woman watching or a lady watching. Let's talk about makeup kits. What should I have in my makeup kit?
So basically, you need to have primer or a moisturizer. And then you do a foundation. And if you are someone that likes, you know, highlights, bright under eye and stuff, I would advise you get like a concealer. You get like a setting powder. You get a contour powder and blush if you like blush, and then your brow pencil. I think one eyeshadow palette would be good for you.
With the various
like with a lot of colors. And then you get like 3 different shades of lipstick and a lip gloss, and I think you'll be good. You'll be able to achieve like a cool flawless look.
And with guys too now, Charlie, we for touch on our faces. You know, sitting on TV. On a normal run, Charlie, you look bright. Of course. And with the guy too, what would you need?
So with the guys, you'd usually just powder is fine.
Powder.
But, powder.
Is it white powder?
Not a white powder, like powder. Powder with color. I would say, So I think just powder is fine, but for someone like me, powder is a little bit, you know, on the basic side for me. So
basic?
Yes.
So
for me, as like a beauty enthusiast. So for me, I'll do everything else I do for girls, just that I do it like in a very, very minimal stage. So I also do my foundation just to cover my spots and stuff. And then days I want to look a little bit, you know, hard. Then I'll just highlight a little just under my eye to smoothen it, and then I set with my powder, and then I put a little bit of warmth around my jawline, my forehead
to make you happy.
Then I just brush my brows, and then I'm good.
Wow, that's quite interesting. So I don't know if we have some people you've touched on. So we have it there on the screen. So I'm seeing Jocelyn Dumas. Right. Can we talk about the girl? what was the inspiration behind this?
So for this one, she was just going for like a day outing with her friends. So she wanted something very pretty and simple. Yeah. So we just did something simple for her for like a day look.
Great.
So this is like a day look, like every day. Yeah.
Right. Okay, so I'm calling in my co-host Stephanie to join me. She's mostly, doing the loud makeup here. I can see Ifia also here.
Yes.
What was the inspiration behind this?
Yeah, for this one, it was for a music award.
Okay.
Yeah, so we went a little bold because it's evening.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have Ifia right there. And we saw what you did on Independence Day for Belamundi, that kind.
Yes.
There's an Nanekia.
Yeah, Nanekia.
Yeah. I think we have that video right there, so let's quickly check that one too out.
Yes.
Last, the battle has ended. Ghana, your beloved country, is free forever.
Here on Hstv and JK, we're doing the healthytainment segment, and we have in the studio Zuka, who is a makeup artist doing super amazing, and we're here celebrating his work, getting to know more about makeup and all that. I have Stephanie and Diego joining me. Where's Diego there? Actually, Diego, they say we for do makeup.
We for do makeup, you for do foundation, light one, and then highlight your eyes.
That was on my face.
He's saying, daily, like Charlie guys, we forget.
What does it do? What does it do to my skin?
To smoothen your skin, definitely to correct the imperfections, and then definitely make you look nice.
I'm imperfect, man. Let me be perfect.
Get there.
Of course, very necessary.
So I want to talk about. Okay.
I don't know whether I ask you. You have been a gentleman in that space. How do you take it? Like,
it feels good.
And
I mean, being a guy in a female-dominated industry, of course.
Yeah.
So, like 5 times a day.
Like, that's what Muslims do. So.
Yeah. And he's been a teacher. He's taught English language, ICT, and now doing makeup. And
so the girls hit on you more times.
What?
They hit on you more times.
What?
The line is not clear. The line is not
clear. I want to talk about your training classes. I know you do. How is it going?
That's going great too. I do get a lot of people wanting to learn my type of makeup. Yes, so that's going great as well.
That's amazing. I saw your project too on Aquaba Magic.
Yes.
It's doing super well, going all in town. I can see your billboards.
Yes.
How did you get into that project?
So I think it was even through the makeup I was doing, because I had to go and work on someone, and then I met one of the producers on set. So when they started with the project, she was like, okay, I think I met this guy who did makeup some time back, and I really love his vibe and stuff like that. So let me talk to him and ask him if he'd be interested in the project. So I remember she tested me, we had a discussion, and then we met, and I'm like, okay, this is a great idea. Once it's in line with my job, why not? Yeah, I could be on it. So that's how it started.
It's been super amazing because the response coming in and all that.
It's been great.
Steph, do you have anything to... Are you very sure?
No, you sure you are a female.
What is the future like?
But it's just amazing to see that.
Beyond the super magic, or is it super magic? Aquaba magic thing that you're doing.
Yes. So I think the future is bright, and we are looking at probably. Should I say it? I want it to be a surprise. I don't know if I should say it, but
you want to go international, go to
Hollywood. Definitely. Probably come up with our own products.
Wow.
Your own products.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Nice.
And then also I'm trying to, delve into the acting space. So even the producers or directors out there who would want to audition me, I'm available. So I mean, we're open to any opportunity. Fine.
Wow.
But have you had a distinctive acting before?
Yes, I have.
You think you can do well?
I see that because the man
is your partner.
YOLO. Yeah, I'm actually on a project.
We're going to make it happen. Awesome. So I think our time is fast spent. And Zuka, what are you going to tell people who want to come into your industry, the guys especially?
The guys, they should learn, they should practice, they should be patient, they should be nice, they should practice and practice.
Practice.
Yes.
Be nice.
Yes.
Be patient.
Yes.
And what are you going to tell your fans?
I love them so much. I thank them for all the support. It's been amazing. And I want to say God bless all of them for me. Yeah, and all my clients, celebrities, I love you all so much. Thank you so much.
And your upcoming students. Yeah.
Definitely.
I think you should make it up one of.
Yeah. I think we should do that.
All right. So viewers, this is where we draw the curtain on the Friday edition of Healthy Morning. It's been quite an interesting week. We've had, conversation back to back. Reverend Benin was talking about,
dating,
relationship,
courtship. It's like courtship, no, I say 6 months.
Been doing things you're not supposed to be doing, right?
Telling we the buy gift and things. So
no, he didn't say stop the gift. He didn't say that, did he?
He didn't say that, but he says don't do it in the purpose that you want to marry the person.
Yeah.
Oh.
So don't buy me a
if you're
car.
trying to help the person.
Yeah. So don't give me a ring over and expect that I'm going to marry you.
Oh, but isn't what courtship is supposed to be?
Don't give me a car. Courtship is not. It's
supposed to lead to marriage.
Exactly.
Right?
But don't at that moment. Don't give it because you intentionally want to marry her. Because anything can happen before you marry.
Well,
so you can just give him like 10,000 right now for lunch.
Don't worry. Just see me later.
Alright, so viewers.
And I want to say a big thank you to Elliot Garment for my beautiful outfit today. I look puffy. Yeah, I love it. I look classy. And you can locate Elliot's Garment on the Circle at the Braka Road. Opposite the Edichon Basic School, or you can get him behind the Glyco Company Insurance, or even the Pentecostal Church, Apostolic Church. So many landmarks around him, and that is where you can locate Elliot's Garment. Alternatively, you can send him a message via the number 0244-724-879, 0244-724-879, and that's Elliot's Garment. So whatever occasion it is for you to step out in, whether a man, a woman, a child, whatever it is, you can just get to Elliot's Garment and then he'll get you sorted out. Right.
All right. So a lot of people were asking for Reverend Felix Bakabene's number. He's given the number out. So if you're ready, just pick your pen and paper or your phone and then pick the number out real quick. It's 055, another 55, 90671. I take it again. It's 055 559 0671. So that is the number for Reverend Felix Bakaben in case you want to reach out to him and then talk to you about your courtship and things they are doing that you don't need to do. Like these ones.
So I want to remind viewers again, we had to premiere Home and Away. That was last on the holiday
Saturday.
Christmas, but it didn't happen. It's been postponed. It's coming off this Sunday at the Snap Cinemas in Accra. Just coming there. The tickets are still there, selling for 30 cedis. Early bird is 30 cedis. When you get there, it's 50 cedis. Come, let's support the brand and let's make it happen. Enjoy your weekend. Stay safe wherever you are. My name has been JK.
My name is Stephanie Ejojina Manyana.
And my name is William Diego Parker. Enjoy your weekend. And whatever you do must be done in decent moderation. Don't forget.